Have you ever looked at a big company and wondered, how can I own a piece of that? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on the entire modern investment world. We're going to break down everything, from the absolute basics of what a company is to the exact tools you can use to start building your own portfolio. So here's our roadmap. We're going to kick things off with the fundamentals. What's the deal with public versus private companies? From there, we'll dive into how you can actually invest. Explore the world of funds, check out the changing game in private markets, look at some alternative assets, and then we'll wrap it all up with your complete modern investing toolkit. All right, first things first. To really get a handle on investing, you have to understand what you're actually putting your money into. And it all starts with the two basic kinds of companies out there.
It really just boils down to two main things. Who gets to own a slice of the business, and how much of their internal playbook do they have to share with the rest of us?
This right here shows the classic trade-off perfectly. Public companies get access to huge amounts of cash from the public, but in return, they basically have to live in a glass house. Regulators like the SEC are always looking over their shoulder. Private companies, on the other hand, get to keep their cards close to their chest and have way more freedom, but finding that cash to grow is a much tougher climb.
Okay, so you want to buy into a public company. How do you actually get in on the action? For a long time, it felt like a game just for the wealthy, right? With single shares costing hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But a really simple, yet totally brilliant idea has blown the doors wide open for everybody. And this is it, fractional shares. This has been an absolute revolution in the world of investing. It means you don't need a fortune to own a piece of a giant like Amazon or Google. You can start with just a few bucks and boom, you're in the game. This has truly democratized the whole process of building wealth.
So what's the magic behind it? Well, you might put in, say, $20. Your broker then takes care of all the heavy lifting. They bundle your small order with a bunch of others, go out and buy full shares on the market, and then they digitally slice them up and drop your piece right into your account. It's a simple concept with some pretty profound results for us regular investors. All right, so you know how to buy a slice of a single company. But let's be honest, picking individual stocks is tough, and you've probably heard you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. That is where funds come into play. Just think of them as a prepackaged bundle of investments that gives you instant diversification. Now, when you start looking at funds, you're going to hear two terms a lot: mutual funds and ETFs. And while they can seem similar, there's a huge difference you need to watch out for: fees. See, mutual funds often come with these extra, sometimes hidden costs. A sales load is basically a commission you pay someone for selling you the fund. A 12b-1 fee helps pay for their marketing. ETFs, on the other hand, they're typically way more straightforward and, you guessed it, cheaper. And this chart right here shows you exactly why those fees are such a big deal. That tiny difference in the annual expense ratio might not seem like much, but over time, it can add up to a massive chunk of your returns. It's kind of like having a tiny leak in a pipe. At first, you barely notice it, but after a few decades, you realize you've lost a whole lot of water. Okay, let's circle back to the world of private companies for a second. For a really long time, if you were an early employee or an investor with stock in a startup, you were basically stuck. You couldn't touch that money until the company had a huge exit, like going public or getting bought out, which could take 10 years or even more. But the rules of that game are changing. This quote really says it all. A whole new market has popped up, a secondary market, where those early investors and employees can actually cash out their shares long before a big IPO. And this is a total game changer, not just for the people getting paid, but for the whole startup world. It lets companies attract the best talent by offering the real possibility of a payday much sooner. So far, we've talked about owning pieces of companies, right? Public or private. But a really solid, well-rounded portfolio can also include things tied to the physical world. Assets you can literally see and touch, which often move in a completely different rhythm than the stock market. Ever wanted to be a real estate tycoon, but without the headache of actually being a landlord? Well, REITs are your answer. They're basically like a mutual fund for property. Instead of stocks, they own a whole portfolio of buildings. We're talking everything from skyscrapers and shopping malls to data centers and apartment complexes, all investable with just a few clicks. And here's the best part. By law, REITs have to pay out most of their taxable income directly to shareholders as dividends. That means you often get a steady stream of cash flow. Plus, since they trade on major stock exchanges, you can buy and sell your shares just as easily as any other stock. It's really the best of both worlds. Okay, another major alternative asset class to know about is commodities. These are the actual raw materials that fuel our global economy. We're talking everything from crude oil and natural gas to gold, copper, and even wheat. Now, this is a really key difference to get your head around. When you buy a stock, you're betting on a company's brain power, its ability to innovate and grow its profits in the future. But with a commodity, you're betting on the fundamental stuff that makes the world go round, driven by real-time, physical supply and demand. It's a totally different way to look at the market.
Phew, we have covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From the DNA of a company all the way to the wild world of alternative assets. So now, let's bring it all home and put together a practical toolkit you can use to get started.
So here it is, your modern investor's toolkit. Each one of these tools has a very specific job. Stocks give you direct ownership. Fractional shares make that ownership accessible to everyone. Funds spread out your risk instantly. Private equity gives you a shot at the next big thing, though it comes with higher risk. And alternatives, like REITs and commodities, can help shield your portfolio from the market's mood swings. Understanding how these pieces fit together is the first step toward building a financial future that really works for you.
So, what's next on the horizon? As those lines between public and private markets keep getting blurrier, and as new tech continues to emerge, the world of investing is really on the edge of a massive transformation. The real question is, are you going to be ready for it?